Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, I want to teach you what you can do to insulate yourself from a recession. And the number one way you can do that is to not lose money. That one of the wealthiest people in the world, Warren Buffett, said his number one rule of money is don't lose money. And rule number two is don't forget rule number one. And the way to not lose money, I'll teach you this Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. Where do we start? We start with unnecessary taxation, because the tax that you can avoid paying keeps you ahead of inflation, and it also prevents you from having to panic when account values for many of you watching this are down 15, 20, 25%. And most of us cannot afford to go through another lost decade like 2000 through 2009 and 10, where your account started 10 years prior is where it basically ended 10 years later. Folks, that's not a way to fend off inflation, taxation, or not let a recession ruin your retirement. Let me teach you some of our proven strategies with a track record of measurable results this coming Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. And I'm talking about two clients, John and Marilyn out of the great state of Arizona, and Glenn and Deborah out of the great state of Illinois. John and Marilyn, John in particular, they had worked very, very hard, and they've got a tremendous amount of money trapped in IRAs. And these IRAs are causing large required minimum distributions. And that's forcing them to pay higher taxes, which is impacting their account values, especially not just the market taking those account values down because they're in traditional retail accounts, but also the taxation is taking those accounts down. Well, what they were able to learn was their estate is also subject to a large estate tax that they could prevent as well. So taxes were basically, they were getting hit from every corner as it related to unnecessary taxation risk. But also they learned what they could do to really protect their assets from downside exposure, which is one of our favorite strategies I'll teach this Tuesday called indexing, where you can have unlimited upside, John learned, and no downside, which is an easier way to outperform the market because of the mechanics and the engineering of that design. Some people call it the rich man Roth or the Roth alternative, and this is a way to protect their grown children from taking on a major tax hit, not just themselves. Folks, also I want to teach you what Glenn and Deb learned out of the great state of Illinois. They said, look, we want to look and see what retirement risk road we're on as it's impacted by recession, inflation, taxation. And what they're able to learn how to do is increase an excess of an extra $371,000 over the next 10 years, that by just changing the retirement risk road they were on to a lesser risk path and pattern that rerouted them away from those risks. And I'll teach you those strategies as well this week at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. Folks, don't let a recession derail your retirement. Don't let unnecessary inflation, right, that's going to be with us for a while. Because remember, it runs about 6 to 8 months in arrears, wholesale inflation. We just had the new inflation number come out this week. And it's not much better than it was last month when the market took a big hit, because everything's up 8.5 on what we call the consumer price index, which isn't counting everything, right? Gas, groceries, green fees, some of those things are way above 8.5%, but it still came in this past week at 8.3%. The market reacted favorably, then it ended up losing. And right now, a lot of people are down 15 to 25%, folks, but not our clients. They're not panicked because they follow that number one rule of money. Don't lose money. And rule number two, don't forget rule number one. And let me teach you how you can do the same. Don't let a recession derail, right, your retirement, or ruin it for that matter, or force you back to work. Boomers, baby boomers in particular, business owners and retirees, it's never too early, it's never too late to get a head start and to be sure that you're tax smart and recession-proof smart. retirementprotected.com.